Welcome to A New View. Today we're going to be talking about how music moves us. You know, when words fail, music speaks. And I know I'm a big person that I love to just listen to music. I mean, lyrics minister to me. I mean, I like to listen to live music. I like all genres of music. I love music.
Me too. And you absolutely hit the nail on the head. Music does move you. I think it can move you in a good way, but it can also, make you feel not so great either.
Yeah,
so.
That's true, because I do tell my kids,
Right.
if you're listening to secular music and you're listening to about drinking all day and partying, then that's where you're going to gravitate towards. If you're listening about pining after an old love on every sappy love song, then you're not going to be
thinking about
you're going to be thinking about that. So you do have to work, because I used to be really bad about that. I liked a tune and the beat, and I didn't listen to the lyrics, and I'd be like, this and that, and my kids would be like, or somebody would tell me, do you know what that song says? No, I just like the beat. And then when I would go look at the lyrics, now I go look at the lyrics. I was horrified, and I'm like, no, can't do it.
I still do some of that, but I do pay attention to the lyrics, and then I'm like, oh, I probably should be listening to this. And then I turn it up like, yeah.
Right. No. There is one, I don't remember the music awards. Rich. I can't remember the little girl that did it, but it's a song about Rich, and it has a very catchy, like rhymey, it has a couple of little bad words in it, but it has a very catchy like tagline, and I will find myself, if it happens to come on, and because my husband, one time we'll listen to classic rock or country music. They don't always let me listen to worship music or Christian music, but and then it'll come on, and I'll be like, oh, I like that song, but it doesn't have the best lyrics. It doesn't.
Yeah. There was a song on recently on my old iPod or something, and I was playing it, and my husband was like, what is this? And I tell him, and I'm like, oh, it's a great song. I love songs that tell stories. And it's about this guy, and I guess he had cheated on his wife, because then she cheated on him, and she thought, okay, now our marriage is saved. And he was mad and stuff, and my husband's like looking at me like I'm insane. He's like, how is that a good song? I'm like, oh, I guess it's not. But I still love it. And I think for me, whoever wrote that, like the emotion, like their journey, like, the fact that they realized this is such a bad thing, that it didn't heal them, that this was,
I wonder if I've listened to that song.
I know, I was trying to think, which one is that? Because, I love storytelling. I think that's why I loved folk music. And just, a little caveat there. I mean, I grew up, my uncle was Guy Clark, the Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter. He's passed away now, but I mean, I grew up, and he would play his guitar when he came to visit, and it was, listening to stories. And a lot of his songs that he wrote were stories about my great-grandmother, were stories about, life and different things and stuff. And he also wrote a lot of songs for pretty famous country people. I mean, and probably people would recognize his songs, but he did win a Grammy finally for his songwriting and things like that. But that's where I guess I loved storytelling, because I love storytelling even without music. I mean,
we need to put some music to some of your stories. That would be fun.
When you get the beatbox, I mean,
Well, that might be something I don't need to be involved in.
No, this is funny, because people, when I rapped with Vandisa, you can find that out there, people are like, I didn't know you sang, Michelle. Correction, I did not sing. I rapped. And I can talk all day long, but I can't really, care. I mean, I can a little bit. I used to be in choir and all that, but I was like, correction, I didn't sing. I got up there and rapped and awkwardly clapped.
It out. That is awesome. Well, yes, I'm with you, sister, because music does move you. And this reminds me of an experience I had over the last couple months with my dad. He has just finished all of his cancer treatment, woohoo! And he has a couple of things that he's doing right now to kind of just do the last healing of his body and everything. But it was such an experience to go through with him. I haven't always had the best relationship with my biological father, and when my sister and I did find out that he had cancer, I made sure that I was going to be at every appointment as long as he was comfortable with that, and kind of just spend that time with him. And on one of these particular appointments, I missed the first one, but my sister was there, and at the hospital, it was a Methodist hospital in Sugar Land, they did something like music therapy with him. And for some reason I have the words guided imagery written down.
Good, yeah.
And I don't know if that was something later on that I asked the lady and she told me, or if that was, I don't know where I got those words from, but I know that I missed the first session and my sister like Snapchatted some of it to me. And I remember thinking, I'm so glad I'm not there because I would not be okay. Like I'd be crying and it would just be terrible. And I was like, I'm so glad you were there, Monique. That was totally for you, and God is so amazing. Well, then that was one appointment that I missed, and I ended up going a couple weeks later, and the girl was back. Like she came in and she had like her I don't think you call it a ukulele, I don't know, but she had like her little guitar, and she has like little instruments that we can play along with as well. And literally the minute she walked in the door and I knew who she was, I started crying. I was like, I know what's coming, because music, I mean, I know what it does for me too.
Yeah.
It just moves me, and I knew what was coming. Like I knew that there were probably things I hadn't said to my dad, and for sure there were, and there are. And I knew that having that music playing and seeing all that was just going to be really difficult for me to handle. And she, let me give you the definition of guided imagery real quick. This says the use of words and music to evoke positive imagery scenarios in a subject, in a person, with a view to bring about some beneficial effect. So they do this at this hospital with these cancer patients that decide they want to do it, to take their mind off the treatment and what they're going through. So she had picked songs, and they were Christian songs that she had chosen to play for him. And she gave us little instruments if we wanted to get involved as well. And she guided him and had asked him, you know, where is a really happy place for you to go to get his mind off of what he was going through. And I'm telling you, I looked over at my dad at one point, and he looked like a boy sitting in his chair. And it was so amazing. And it was very emotional. Like I just cried the whole time. And it was just really beautiful. But I think I looked up some of the research on it, and I don't want to spend a lot of time giving you statistics and everything, but if this is something that sounds like it would help you, you do not need to be a trained professional to do this to yourself. And it is healing for you, and you can make it all about God. You do not have to feel like you're letting your mind wander and it's being taken over by something else. You can make it about God and asking God to help you go to a special place that He wants to take you to heal you. And I'm telling you, like, it was such an experience. I know my dad got a lot out of it, but I know that that was for me too, because it taught me that I could do that for myself. Like going through whatever journey I'm going to walk through with my family, or it was just really powerful. So you guys remember that you have that tool, and I know you've experienced it in praise and worship, like where the Lord takes you. So
in dreams or visions, but I'm thinking inner healing. I mean, we do inner healing, and that's one of the tools that we take them, is through guided imagery, not with music, but saying, you know, what is God speaking to you? Where's it showing you? And I know as I've done my own inner healing, and so you know, when my friend did that and stuff, it took me back to a time when I was a child, and I had a very big trust issue, and didn't realize that those were some things that had been happening to me all these years later, that it was back to that guided imagery of some trust issues that I was experiencing even now. So it's very powerful.
Yeah. One thing she did, guys, this therapist, she sang, and I was like, how is she singing this, like, without losing her biscuits? She's a professional. But, she sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
And
too.
I, like, while she was singing it, was getting like a vision of like a gold castle, and just, it was so beautiful, and just, it was amazing. And I know my dad had a different image for what he was seeing and where he was going, but our minds are very powerful, and God created them that way. And He wants to use them. And the word, as you're talking, the word for me today is guided. You know, let God guide you through music or the scripture or whatever, and let Him take you where He wants to take you, because He wants to, right? Yeah.
I love it. I love going places in it. What in this am I supposed to learn from, or what am I supposed to get out of it? But for me, whenever the Leanne Womack song, I Hope You Dance, when that got popular, I wrote it in everybody's baby book, and in my kids' baby books. And you know, you forget about it over time and everything. And Alex's college graduation, now I'm gonna cry. She went across the stage, you know, she went and stood there for her little photos, and on her way back around and past us, she took a couple steps and did a little dance for us, and I got and that was
oh
she did it, you know, she danced.
Thanks, Kim.
She did, that was my dream for these. Life is hard. We go through
That's
like
true.
everything that we go through.
Oh, I know. And you think some of the greatest songs were poured out of people's biggest pains.
Yes.
And
That is
so
amazing, yeah.
we really hope that, you know, we cry.
we
That's
gotta
how we
get
are. We're
together.
vulnerable. We're real. You know, that's what we are. Bits of real and raw encouragement for you. But on A New View, we would like you to find out that maybe A New View, if music hasn't really ministered to you as much, maybe try this guided imagery, you know? And also, that's why we love to bring you your healing hour. We have some great musicians that have just joined us. We have them in our community in Northwest Houston, Texas, and it is just a time to just unplug, let the music just minister to you, get some prayer, connect, and fellowship. So stay tuned to our events page, because the next one is coming October 12th. It's going to be again at the Bake Shop Cafe in Cypress on Grant and Malcolmson. And so again, we hope that you've enjoyed A New View. We hope that you will share your view and tell us some of the favorite songs that you have that ministers to you.
And we hope you dance.
Yes.
Oh.
Take care.